Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith. This is Smiths in the Black here at CPA Group, and we got a little gap in reverse, so it's a little quiet there. If you didn't catch the opening reversals, we have a new 60 coming, so you can see we're in a little bit of conflict because we're red here on the SPY on the week, right? Looking to see if we get an outside week, but now we just gap out and stop out these guys and just come roaring back. And so you might have heard me talk about the continuity entry. So if this thing's going to reverse, you'll notice here on the daily how it backs off and then it goes green on the day. Boom. Now we start coming up, either go outside day and come all the way back to the highs, or at least set that up for tomorrow. But we're going to be watching every 60, right? So we would like to see some corrective activity. We're not getting that. Right now you're in conflict. A lot of things are down in the week but up on the day. It's not the worst thing in the world because you can see now this was a 2 down by taking out the yesterday's 60. 2-2 reversal right here. Here's where when it pokes down here, and here's where it went back green on the day. Right there was your continuity entry. If you want to take that back up. And so right now we got a new 60 and still trying to recover, right? Still 2 on our way back up. 2 down, 2 up, 2 up, still going. QQQ here. And you can see the continuity entry here. Goes down, boom, right there. Comes back up and takes that out. So the problem for the Qs is now you see this doji on the week, right? Scratch, right, on a Thursday. That's a bit of a problem. But right now, like a lot of things, we're watching these new 60s continue to recover here. If you go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, so yesterday we had an inside day, right? And so we prefer to open inside and then take it out as opposed to gap down, because you can see that at this point it's like all the down movement was on the gap, right? That's not what we like. But if you're able to reverse it again, once again, continuity entry when you reclaim the opening price. Now, still coming, like a lot of things, still coming back. But the other problem here now is on the monthly, right? Doji doing nothing. So a little tricky out there. You got small cappers also gap down and come back. So a lot of things just doing that inside weak to the downside, but then you get that gap. And so some people will, ask me about continuity and saying, okay, well, Rob, it's red on the month, it's red on the week, and it's inside week and down, right? How can we buy this thing? Well, continuity, it's important to understand that, let's say that we have sellers in here. We have had sellers in here because we know that because of the red month and the red week and the inside week and down. But once you have a gap, those sellers might be cleaned up. The guys who are dumping this here, that might be the final dumpage, right? And that's where the 60 and the daily override the weekly and the monthly, right? Because the thing about continuity is eventually you can create a crowded trade where if everybody's shorting this or dumping it and selling it, well, eventually everybody who wants to be short is short and everybody who wants to be out is out, right? And that's when you have the reversal like you're seeing here coming back up, watching the new 60s. So what will be important too is as we continue to recover here, if we get any lower low on any of these 60s going into the afternoon on these broader averages, anything taking out the morning lows, right? And the reason you want to do that is because anybody who bought something today and their stock is not rallying back like this, and then the market starts to fail, they're going to get stopped out because their stops are going to be at the low of the day. We know that. We know what they've been told. So it's a little grindy here for right now until that happens, but we can go to Tesla's, some of the memes coming back. So Tesla, once again, 2 weeks to the downside, right? But you can see a lot of things looking very similar, right? The gap down and then the recover, the recover, the recover. So oftentimes, like in Tesla here, when you see this real knuckle tight range, more often than not, they're going to take out both sides because you'll have guys in there who can have tight stops on both sides. Boom, all the longs get stopped out right in the opening, and now boom, you can come up and take these guys out here. So we'll see. Still recovering is Tesla, and we can stay on the shorter terms as well. You can see the opening inside 15er here, and right here, let's see if this is a lower low. Yeah, the lower low, the 2 up, the 2 down, boom. These two become an outside bar of that on the 15er. That's how you get in on that. Tesla's still recovering. If you go to AVB REIT, and AVB now inside in the 15, we'll see if we can get anything longer than that. So AVB, you can see here, taking out last week's highs, taking out last month's highs, taking out yesterday's highs. So it's so far so good. And so you can see here on the 30, slight lower low. So if you can take this out in the next half an hour over 217.32, that gets my attention. You can watch that with the VNQ REITs. You got Facebook recovering. It was also an inside day to the downside here. So once again, they exhaust them. Stop all these guys out and start coming back. Let's go back to the 60s. So you can see conflict with the week, red week, and now still trying to come back up over the morning highs. If we go to space, in space, instantaneous recovery, and you can see this here on the daily. It tries to gap down lower, doesn't make it. Inside day, poke down, rev strat day, boom, right? And that's bringing this thing back to full time frame continuity to the upside, because you're green on the month, you're green on the week, and then boom, as soon as this daily opens, once again, there's your continuity opening. Slight wick to the downside, then boom, straight up. We had a nice 30 in here. This was an inside, and this poke down. There's your rev strat. 1 inside, 2 down, boom. Now we'll see if that sets up again, goes maybe inside 30, we'll see. If we go to AMC, more for the apes, give me that outside day. Once again, once you take out one side of the previous range and start coming back through, you're going outside day right now. Right now. You'll take out that 48.99. You just did it. So that's what we look for, right? Because they stopped them all out. It's an inside month, so we can expect back and forth action. You stopped all these guys out by taking this low out, so all these guys are gone. And then, boom, right back up in their face, AMC. If we go to ARPO and the gappers, and ARPO here, inside 60 continuation. So gaps up, goes inside on the 60, 212 continuation. Now you got a new 60, and that's what you got to be aware of, right? We're always talking about the new 60. But here, that was nice above 278, blasted up over to 332. Now coming in on the new 60. I don't know what's going on here, but COHN. Oh boy. Yeah. So what you're going to notice in this thing is it had a big spiker week. And you'll hear me talk about mother bar. Then it goes to inside. How are you going to get outside of this range? Well, you're going to start price discovery all over again. What does that mean? That means you're going to have a new broadening formation as price tries to hit highs and lows, and there it is. So when it started gunning through here, you're looking to take that out, and then you want to stay up there, which it did not. So more often than not, what this will do is it'll come back right into the middle, and everybody's a loser, right? So just be aware of that. We'll see. You got this 60. They want to bring this in for a 2-2 reversal below 34.50. If we go to XELA, shenaniganer, blasting up. Let's see how that thing does. Just take out yesterday's highs. So we'll see. It's staying above last week's highs. That's good. So we'll see if that sets up, once again, that new 60. QQQ staying firm here on this new 60, so be aware of that, as Tesla is still skirting the highs. If we go to Viacom C, and Viacom C said that inside 60 to the upside, just recovering a little bit. Once again, in conflict with the week and the month, and there's a lot of that stuff going on. So just be aware of that. If we go to Roku, and Roku coming up here, potential outside day. So you had yesterday, you can see this. Took out the highs, took out the lows as an outside day, then gaps down. So if they're willing to pay up here and sell down, they might do it again. So they sold down. Now, you can see if it can come all the way back up in here. Still an inside month, and see how that sets up the week for the potential 2 up, 2 down, and then next week to take out this week's highs. Still plenty of day left, so we'll see how this goes. Market's still in recovery mode from the opening gap down. If we go to Rita, and Rita, there's your outside day. So once it starts coming up, you can look for that. Still an inside month. But here's another thing we look for. The outside bar, taking out both sides of this. Inside bar, 3, 1, 2, and bam, real move. They're willing to pay up, they're willing to sell down, right? Then they met in the middle for a consolidation inside bar, real move, upside 312, something you want to look for. If we go to Carve, and Carve's starting to mother bar problems. Once again, you have that inside bar in the middle of a big range. Oftentimes it starts going back and forth and back and forth. So you had your chance for get a little bit off the inside 60 to the upside, but this needed to take that out. It didn't do it, so it just backs off. If you go to the downside, you got Norfolk Southern here, still trying to recover, but you can see this brutality here. The two up and then boom, call this a kicking pattern. When you have 80% or more all green and then it gaps down, boom, we're going to take out all this stuff, which it did. Gives you an outside week, and you're still taking this to the downside. Because if you look at the transports, starting to recover here, but taking out last month's lows. That's something I want to know about. It also took out these 3 months were last quarter. So it's trying to go inside. It's trying to go down on the quarter, 2-2 reversal, but we'll see. Let's go on here on the tape. And let's see. All right, what fiber? How's this thing doing? And fiber backing off, but a little messy in here. Just an inside month to the upside. Anyway, we also had gold. And gold inside on the 60 now GLD, and you can see that came down to be an outside day. And as it started to fail, if you went to the gold shares GDX, you'll see this, the inside day to the downside, coming back through the previous range, right here. Pivot machine gun. Anybody long as that, right? And if that works, it's setting up the outside weak to the downside here. So we can keep an eye on that. You like FNV is getting hit here, another kicker on the daily, like so, and then boom, right back down previous range potential outside weak. But Newmont, to a lesser extent, but closer to being an outside weak to the downside. We can keep an eye on these. Also had PAGS, PAGS. This thing staying right near the lows, outside month, and coming back through the weekly range here. Right, it's just kind of stuck here on the lows, but if the market starts to back off, which it is not, we can look for this thing to try and take out the lows. Also had Chinese stocks, BABA, do what it's supposed to do, coming down here, boom, takes out inside month to the downside. Now just kind of sitting here with the inside 60s. We'll see what comes in the afternoon. You can watch that with Baidu. Also having some problems inside 60. Not coming off the mat with the rest of the market, and inside month to the downside. So keeping those things down. Also had a little weakness in Clorox. See how that's doing. So Clorox, not the end of the world, but it did go inside and down on the 60 here. So what we'd look for here is you can take this out. Right today, this would be a 2-2 reversal on the daily below 181.27. So you're almost there, and if not, you get an inside day to keep an eye on for tomorrow. So market's still in recovery mode here from the opening gap down, and so gap in reverse is the name of the game here, like an Amazon here, also coming back. Oops. You can see Amazon here. When it gaps down, but it's still green on the month and it's still green on the week and inside week and up. So as soon as it gaps down and starts coming higher, it has full time frame continuity to the upside. So we're looking for potential outside day for Amazon, and you can see this to start the day goes 2 inside, 2-1-2 reversal, and right back up. So knowing what to look for is important, and when to look for it. So right now we're still in recovery mode until something changes by taking out the lows of any 60s. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith of the Black here at CP Group with Strat Time Report.